All right, everyone, welcome back to
Unknown,
Unsolved
Unseen.
Triple U.
Woo! Episode 19, one away from 20.
Good math.
Thank you. I worked really hard on it. So we're almost at the fateful number 20, and then we're getting close to that 23 where most people who didn't quit in the first 3 episodes typically quit then.
Well, I have always been above average, so.
So,
I'm kidding.
for starters today, I do have a few announcements. And I see, Sage, I believe you have one on your computer too.
Yeah.
You want to go over yours first real quick?
Sure. I was just pulling up the information for the Pennhurst Asylum Paracon. That's coming up in May that I know we've talked about in the past, but I figured I'd give the reminder. It's a Paracon and Oddities Expo. It's May 17th and 18th at Pennhurst Asylum. Highly recommend you get some tickets. We're really looking forward to the people that we're going to get to meet there. We're going with some friends. So it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, you guys have met one of them so far, Billy, and the other two might be on the podcast here or there. Actually, you know what we should do for an episode after that? We should do another recap one and have all of us on it.
I like that idea.
Yeah, we'll have to talk with them about that. They'll probably hear this too, so either or. So for mine, for my announcements, we have quite a few events coming up. So first off, actually, this is one that came to my attention recently. There is the Windy City Paranormal Fest. So this is happening in Chicago this summer. Let me see, where are the dates again? So the Windy City Paranormal Fest is from June 12th to June 15th this year. Obviously held in Chicago. They're going to have a variety of things. The theme of the Parafest is storytelling this year. And they have various people there, such as Heather Taddy from Paranormal State, Alien Highway, and Travel the Dead. Sage and I actually have met her at the Carbondale UFO Festival.
We did. It was pretty cool to see her name was going to be on that list.
Yeah.
She went to Penn State.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
There's the host of the Quite Unusual podcast, some authors, one of them's making cocktails, tarot, DJs, paranormal history researchers. You know, there's a plethora of people going to be there. So if we didn't live, how far is Chicago from us?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
10, 12 hours, something like that, probably. Yeah. With an already packed year, we sadly cannot make it. We wish we could, but maybe one year we'll make it. We'll have more information on that festival as the weeks go by because, well, I ain't going to say anything. Just leave it at that.
Nice and ominous.
Yeah. So then the other thing I'm going to say for the millionth time, April 12th is the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins game where they will be the Carbondale UFOs for the night. We actually got our tickets to that yesterday, so we'll be at that game. First 2,500 people there also get a bobblehead. On top of that, it's a UFO game. First off, the Penguins will be playing against a cryptid team. Did you know that?
You said it was the Thunderbirds?
The Springfield Thunderbirds, which we've seen them play before. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and we literally just brought up the Thunderbird last week, so.
Yeah. We watched the Hershey Bears captain beat the crap out of one of the Thunderbirds players when we went. That was a very one-sided fight, but man,
I mean, that's what we're there for. So
that was exciting. We are big hockey fans, as you can tell.
Definitely.
Which you'll hear more hockey as stuff goes on, seeing that hockey likes to jump into the cryptid sphere, seeing that we have the Springfield Thunderbirds, the Seattle Kraken, Jersey Devils, the Tahoe the Tahoe Knights, and their mascot is Tahoe Tessie, another cryptid, and the Cleveland Monsters, which their mascot is the Lake Erie Monster. Like, more cryptid representation, except for there is bad news about cryptids in the NHL recently. The Utah team was most likely only going to be the Utah Yetis.
Right.
The trademark office shot it down because it would be too easy to confuse with Yeti coolers.
So annoying.
I know. I hope they go with Utah Mammoths, though. Actually, cool thing, one of their goalies got his helmet finally done. It has raptors on it for the Utah Raptor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Some person out there said they should just be called the Utah Jazz, like the basketball team, and I'm like, no. Just
Honestly, Utah Raptors sounds
yeah, it does.
incredible.
But there already is Toronto Raptors for the for NBA, so I don't know if they would the trademark how the trademark office would deal with that.
Well, I mean, I feel like, I mean, there's like millions of Wildcats.
Yeah,
There's
but that
multiple Bears.
yeah.
Like,
So
they're,
we'd have to see, but mammoths are on the list, which is what I'd like to see next. But man, I was hoping for Yetis.
gosh darn it.
So next thing on my announcements is on the same day is the Cryptids and Curiosities in Hagerstown, Maryland. I did share that on their story, and I'll do that again at some point. This goes from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. that day. Lastly, there is another event coming up soon that I would love to go to, Sage, but I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
So there is the Frogman Festival at the Oasis Convention Center in Loveland, Ohio. This is the third annual one in honor of the Loveland Frogmen and will be held March 1st to the 2nd. It is a variety of speakers and activities. One of them is the founder of the Snallygaster Museum, another cryptid. Also has its own special event, which I'd love to go to. It actually has a beer fest and an actual like thing focused on the cryptid. I'd go to the cryptid one over the beer fest. One of them is one of the sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. So it looks like there's park rangers on the list and live music. I would love to go this some year, as so far you and I have been to two Outback Witch Days, a Bigfoot Day, a Carbon Daily Festival, multiple ghost tours, and soon a paranormal convention at Penhurst, like you said earlier. So one year we're going to need to check this out. Something like the Frogman Festival, Squonkapalooza, which is in Pennsylvania, the Hodag Festival, or some of the many other cryptid or alien festivals that happen.
I know, we're gonna have to like plan it out months in advance so that we don't have other things at the same
Yeah,
time.
because I'd love. We aren't too far away for the Kecksburg Festival, which is in June every year. Love to check
Yeah,
that one out.
that's true.
So now to get into the actual episode here instead of all these announcements. Sorry, there's just so much happening here lately that I have to let the world know about all these cryptids and alien festivals because I've always wanted to go to these things, and there's a chance one of these might be near you. And also, if you ever know of more that we don't know about, or you're running one and want us to mention it, just reach out to us and either let us know that the event's happening or let us know about your event, and we will let the world know because we love cryptid events.
Yeah, we're always looking for things to go to, fill our time outside of, the daily grind of work.
Yeah.
So
I like share. I like having a little segment here at the beginning about things going on in the world so people know, because this type of stuff does permeate into popular culture and like everyday things to an extent.
yeah.
So I like to make people aware of what's going on, because this stuff, you go back like 10, 20 years ago, you're kind of crazy believing this stuff, but now it's more acceptable. It's more pop culturalized, which I like, because like there's a lot of things I don't necessarily believe it, but man, do I love just talking about it.
Yeah, me too.
So now, actually, into the episode, we're going to go back to the U.S. of A. today and down to Florida.
I was gonna like try to sing a lyric, and like for some reason I can't even think of it. What?
I
Blow
don't.
my whistle, baby, whistle,
Oh
baby.
my goodness. So we're going to go down to Florida, specifically St. Augustine, and more specifically, the St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Take it away.
So just looking into stuff online and seeing information in the books, there are a lot of haunted places in St. Augustine, and I only realized that when I was fairly deep into the episode, and I chose one of the things with like the least amount of hauntings to it.
That's okay. I'm hoping that there's a good history and we can have a good chit chat about it.
Yeah, so we're going haunted lighthouse route today.
Is this a place that you've ever been?
Nope, I've actually never been to St. Augustine.
Okay.
So spooky hauntings this time. We had a bit of that last week. This is my first. This is my second one. My first one since the Crescent Hotel and Spa, which was what? That was like episode 6.
Yeah, like very early.
Yeah, so I haven't done one in 13 episodes.
Well,
Yet
there
I've
you go.
done 2 cryptids in that time, and and I think like two or three, done three conspiracies in that time. Wow. I gotta get back on the cryptids and hauntings. I never too many cryptids. So, Sage, do you know anything about the St. Augustine Lighthouse and the hauntings associated with it?
I know nothing about the hauntings. I'm gonna go ahead and guess it's a lighthouse, which means I'm
Whoa.
gonna go ahead and guess that it's by water. So
Okay,
I'm also gonna go ahead and guess that there's probably something, uh, I don't know, spooky happening with the water.
we
Like,
got real Sherlock Holmes over here, guys.
yeah, I'm really putting the context clues together.
Cool. This is a hard hitting podcast you guys are here for Sage to be Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I mean, I just told you guys last week to check out Sherlock Holmes BBC. I'm just like doing my due diligence.
She learned it from the best.
Hire me, BBC, please.
So, are you ready to again go in and shine a light on these ghostly happenings?
Yep, take it away. Take it away, Ernie.
All right, so first we're going to get into the history of the lighthouse, which is actually quite a bit. I have a whole page on this.
Okay.
So, for starters, like many haunted places, the first thing we should do is dive into a history of the lighthouse and the area so we can have an idea of what we're going to be discussing today. So, the lighthouse is located in St. Augustine, Florida. The city has a population of a bit over 14,000, so not awfully large, but larger than other places we've talked about, like Carbondale and Van Meter. So, this is the oldest European settlement in the continental United States, having a continuous population since 1565.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, this is a coastal city, and with that, it's not just like a solid coast. There's a large island along the coast called Anastasia Island, and this is where our episode will take place on this island. So,
Right.
the rest of this is the history of the lighthouse, and most of it comes from the website for the lighthouse and some Wikipedia, which the Wikipedia also kept directing me to that website for the lighthouse, so both have about the same. So, this area was initially controlled by the Spanish starting in 1565. The first record of anything like a lighthouse was from an Italian cartographer, Giovanni Battista Bazio. I think I said that right.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say yeah.
In 1589, after the raid of Sir Francis Drake. So this was after the raid of Sir in 1589 by Sir Francis Drake. This map shows two wooden watchtowers, one on the northern end of the island and one on the southern end of the island. The one on the north end would later become the lighthouse, and the one on the south end would become a monument later. So, in 1737, the Spanish would replace the watchtower with a 30-foot tall shell rock and wood watchtower. So over time, it would be a bit more complete than a simple watchtower and kind of act also as a lighthouse, but this is where things get a bit loosey-goosey on what if it's a lighthouse or a watchtower or both.
Like today still, or is this
No,
just in
back then? We're talking like 1700s.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it stayed that way or not.
Because we're going to see here, the land here traded hands multiple times, so, not all the documents are kept well.
Okay.
So, the change of ownership happened after the French and Indian War, which is also known as the 7 Years' War. With a British victory, a lot of Spain and French territory was ceded to Great Britain. This included all of Florida, which was divided into East and West Florida. The capital, East Florida, was St. Augustine. So, as the British arrived, the Spanish left for Cuba, leaving the settlement kind of in dilapidated state as the British were arriving. So, on the lighthouse, the watchtower on the north end was worked on and made 30 feet taller by wooden construction. By 1780, some started calling it a lighthouse, and some maps, and one in 1794, identifies a lighthouse on the island. The information about being used as a lighthouse is not the clearest. Shipwrecks started happening at around this time at a fairly large margin. And then in 1783, so that 1794 map was found after this.
Okay.
And that 1794 map identified 1780 structures because the timeline here got a bit confusing for me. So, After the 1783 Treaty of Paris, the area was ceded back to the Spanish and became their territory again. They tore down much of what was on the tower or lighthouse and used it as a watchtower again. So the extra 30 feet the British put on, they took it off.
Okay. And so at this time, like, is there a light in it?
Um, Not sure.
Okay. More just
It
like a lookout station?
Yeah, and I think for a lighthouse, it would not be like your spinning light back then as what it is now, or it maybe be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't. I'm not a lighthouse professional. I don't know.
I didn't think that you were, but I mean, that would be pretty dope if you are.
Yeah, I didn't look too much into that.
That's fine.
So eventually, St. Augustine would come to U.S. control in 1819. So the first lighthouse that can be definitely pointed to be a lighthouse was built in 1824, and by the 1870s, it would need a replacement as the sea was going to take the lighthouse. Um, Also, a fun fact: whenever the Union came during the Civil War,
Hmm.
the Confederates stole the lens to the lighthouse and hid it, and the Union had to retrieve it because they thought if we take this down, the Union won't be able to land properly. But they still did, and were able to take control.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice scheme. I
yeah,
mean, I think like the thought makes sense,
yeah.
but
It does, but they retrieved it back and took control. Also, if you didn't know back then, like lighthouses use like oil or kerosene and a lens to direct the light of that fire.
I actually didn't know that. I don't know what my brain was like. I assumed it was like a candle, but I didn't. I guess I never knew how they actually set like.
Yeah, so it's a lamp with the lenses, like these special lenses, formatted in special angles that allow the light to reflect and cause a lighthouse
I do
to
not
have it shine.
understand how human beings figured that out. Aliens, I'm telling you. I figured it out.
So, while Reconstruction was happening after the Civil War, $100,000 was appropriated for the construction of a new lighthouse on the north end of Anastasia Island. Construction started in 1871 and finished in 1874. The 165-foot tall lighthouse would be lit for the first time with an oil lamp by William R. Russell on October 15th, 1894. So just first time I say 1824, lighthouse was built, first one. Then the
Okay.
sea started eroding the land with like sea levels changing and taking and waves just battering the island. That area was starting to erode, so they built a new lighthouse nearby. So they're within close range of each other.
Okay.
Because when we get to the hauntings, this confused me a lot when I was researching. There are hauntings that are traced back to go to people from the 1850s and 60s.
Wow.
So the original lighthouse. So now we begin the true story of the lighthouse we'll be covering today. So from 1874, the lighthouse began normal operations. It was updated to kerosene in 1885 and survived an earthquake in 1886. The
Oh
light
my
would,
gosh, this lighthouse has been through so many things.
yep, the lighthouse would get plumbing in 1924, and the light would be electrified in
Ooh,
1836.
that's like pretty early. I feel like 1924 to get plumbing.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of times after like 1880 to like 1910, we kind of like merge that all together. But I'm pretty sure plumbing was coming in that time.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When you get to like 1875 to 1900, I don't know much of what happened in those times.
Yeah, I feel like between the Civil War and then World War One, it's just like a blur.
There's a little time before World War One where we have like workers' rights and stuff like that, with like the Jungle by Sinclair and whatnot.
Totally. Yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about.
All right, I'll move on from that. You're very convincing.
I mean, if you know literally anything about me, I'm the worst with remembering history, especially if it was history that I was taught in school.
Yeah, she ain't the best.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm good. I'm the history guy here.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him stick to that too.
She's the true crime girl here
Yeah, I mean, and I do. I mean, I did history of the
of your specific things.
yeah, like of my specific things, but I don't just like
You don't know, like you aren't as well versed with
enjoy.
general history.
Yeah, I don't enjoy history for like shits and
Like,
gigs.
for example, you couldn't tell me like a bunch of the stuff that happened about the Cold War, probably, right?
Yeah, literally, don't ask. I
Cuba.
couldn't even tell you when the Cold War was.
Do you know when it ended?
No, I'm gonna guess in the 60s. But
No, 1991 it ended.
oh.
Well, officially in
Who was
1991,
the
but it kind of
Mr.
super.
Gorbachev tear down that wall?
Reagan.
Was that in the middle of the Cold War?
That was near the end of it.
Because that was in the end of the
80s,
80s, right?
yeah.
The only reason I know that is I wrote a paper on it in high school.
So yeah, you're well past the 60s at that point.
What was in the 60s? Cuban?
Cuban Missile Crisis, the start of Vietnam War, almost all of the space race was in the 60s.
I think I was thinking
Started late.
space race.
Yeah, started late 50s, went into the end of the 60s with 1969 allegedly putting a man on the moon.
Yeah. That's a topic for another day.
That doesn't relate to St. Augustine, but we're somehow there.
Yes. Alright, go ahead. Anyway, sorry.
So, over time, with automation, the amount of people needed to staff the lighthouse gradually declined. It was originally 3 people, and there were living quarters for them and their families, and then it dwindled down to just 1 person.
Okay.
And making housing 3 families no longer a need, so the vacated houses became houses to rent. And one of the vacated houses would be set on fire by an unknown arsonist, and before it could be swooped up by people looking to make it into condominiums and develop the land, a junior service league stepped in to save and restore the house. And it took 15 years of a team of women to restore all of this.
Women.
Yeah, it was a women-led effort.
I love women. That is so neat.
Yeah, so they restored the house the best they could.
I feel like that's such a woman thing.
I would want to do it too, because I think that's a big part of history. You're
So
talking
dope.
the oldest settlement in America and a lighthouse that has been a watchtower and lighthouse over hundreds of years. I would like to preserve that and the stuff around it. So, even at one point, also a vandal then would later shoot and damage much of the light, like the lens of the lighthouse.
Like, did it say there was a purpose?
Nope. It would be replaced by an airport beacon light in 1991 by the U.S. Coast Guard. And during this time, the Junior Service League would, I think it was actually like young women, so I think it was like kids who like helped with this. They crowdfunded like $1.2 million, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They would lease the land to the U.S. Coast Guard. So, oh yeah, I have that here in my next note.
Do you think that the vandal shot the light out because they were vandalizing and they didn't want anyone to see them?
No idea.
Okay. That's fine. I
If
was
you're
just like
vandalizing and your way to conceal yourself is firing a gun at a lighthouse.
Oh my, I did not even think of that.
You're doing a bigger crime than vandalizing something else.
I forgot that guns make noise.
So,
sorry.
Your daily reminder.
Yeah, daily reminder, everybody. Guns make noise?
Yep.
Unless you have a silencer.
They still make a little
That's
noise.
morbid. That's morbid.
So, in 1994, a maritime museum also opened there, and so this is when the Coast Guard was leasing it. So, since then, the lighthouse operates still as a lighthouse, to my knowledge, and the maritime museum. So, the Coast Guard manages the lighthouse part of it. The maritime museum, I think that's the place itself.
Are most like lighthouses run by Coast Guard?
I think so.
Because I feel like I've heard that before. Like, there's always like a group that like actually works to run the lighthouse. Like, I know the one in Portland, Maine. That, or is it Long Beach? There's one up in Maine that like we went and saw when I was up in Maine, and I remember like they have like the little gift shop and all that stuff. But I'm wondering like if the Coast Guard like keeps watch on the actual lighthouse, but like the people keep watch on like the store and stuff.
Probably. I mean, the Coast Guard manages a lot of this stuff as part of the Coast Guard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So with the history being said, ready to get into the spooky alleged hauntings of the St. Augustine Lighthouse?
Let's do it.
Ooh, spooky time. So, the lighthouse is host to multiple spirits, some that can be identified and some that cannot.
Ooh.
Most can. So throughout the years, the lighthouse hasn't seen. Well, how did I write this? So throughout the years, there hasn't been much death around the lighthouse, but there is still some. So
Oh, that's sad.
this place is not exempt from tragedy. So we're going to go over the first and most notable of them all that everyone talks about.
All right, hit me with it.
During the construction of the lighthouse, many people lived with their families nearby while they were there, and the materials to build the lighthouse were brought in by rail. So, like, there was a cart that took it out to the island, like a Victorian era rail cart.
Okay.
So, the superintendent of the construction was Hezekiah. I think that's how you say it. Hezekiah Petit.
Okay.
He came down with his family from Maine. He brought his wife and 3 daughters. The 3 daughters are Mary, 15, Eliza, 13, and Carrie, 4.
Okay.
So the kids would entertain themselves by using the construction area as a playground and play with the kids from other workers.
Okay.
Do you think playing around a construction site sounds safe?
I feel like this is one of those things where it was like it made sense for the time.
Yeah, nowadays I don't think you can really get away with that.
No, there's lots of signs saying like hard hats only.
Yeah.
No
So
kids.
the rail that brought supplies used a cart to bring the material, and there was a wooden block at the end to keep it from falling into the water because it went to the edge of the shore. Riding the cart was a fun activity of the children. There was always a wooden block, though, to keep it safe and from falling out. So, what could go wrong?
Oh, I don't know. So little things.
So, on July 10th, 1873, the 3 kids were playing on the cart with another unknown African American girl, another daughter of one of the workers. She was 10 years old. So, they were going on it, and when it got to the end, the wooden block wasn't there.
Oh no.
So the cart came off and flipped into the water and trapped the 4 children under it. Dan Sessions, an African American worker, saw it had happened and tried to save them. Only one of the kids survived.
Oh my gosh.
The youngest of the superintendent's children, Carrie. The town shut down for the funeral, and the 2 daughters of the superintendent laid them to rest back in Maine. They haven't been able to determine where the African American girl was buried because I believe it wasn't marked.
Is that how they refer to her? African American?
Because they never record. Yeah.
Okay.
And they never recorded her name anywhere. Okay. So nobody knows her name or where she was buried. And part of the reason that's kind of on par for back then, and that's why I brought it up, because it just highlights a little bit of the injustices and not caring that happened back then.
Yeah.
So there is some suspicion on the deaths of why the wooden block was gone, but at this time, we're never going to know the truth.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah. So, the spirits of these girls are said to still reside on the grounds of the lighthouse.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me either.
Unfortunately.
So, people report seeing them play on the swings, play hide and seek, laughing about, and general horseplay. These are the ghosts that can be identified and believed to be behind most of the events. Like a lot of the events are believed to be them. Actually, I did see one person on Reddit claiming that at times him and his friend on one tour would push the swings when nobody was looking and get people to think it was ghosts. So hopefully that was a one-time occurrence.
Yeah.
So, regarding specific events, the first one is in the 1950s. A relief lighthouse worker was staying at one of the homes for the keepers, and he heard people walking around upstairs, and when he checked, there was no one there. So this one is attributed to the girls, but it could be one of the other spirits too.
Okay.
The next one takes place in the 1960s, and this one is by far creepier. So, with more automation, the houses for the keepers ended up being rented out. In the 60s, a man staying there reported seeing a girl at the side of his bed when he woke up.
Oh, that would freak me out so bad.
Yeah, I'd be screaming. I'd be going crazy.
Oh my God.
So when he blinked to get a clear view, she disappeared.
Oh, that's so freaky.
And then he didn't see her again.
It's like sad because you're like, what's going on with her that like she can't go anywhere, but also like why are you staring at me while I sleep.
Yep, seeing a random ghost child at the side of my bed would scare me and make me paranoid for
I
months.
think seeing any child at the side of my bed, like I distinctly remember being a kid and like I would get sick or something in the middle of the night and I would like go to find my mom and I just remember most like standing there staring at her like waiting for her to wake up and
Mom,
like
I
freaking
threw
out.
up.
Yeah, like I don't know if that is like me making that up, but I feel like I just have this memory of like her jolting awake being like ah, even as like an adult when I was still living at home, I had done that. And like I just remember scaring the shit out of her.
Please don't do that to me ever here.
No, I'll just roll over and just stare at you.
No, whenever I need to wake you up next, I will get up and then go over to your side and just crouch down and stare at you.
Please don't. I hate the sound of that.
So, um, in more recent years, there was a staff member closing the place for the night when he heard giggling coming from the top of the lighthouse. And when he got
Mm.
up there to see if anyone snuck in to stay behind, he found no one. So he headed back down, and on the way down, he heard giggling downstairs. He got down there, no one there. Was this the girls playing hide and seek with him? Whatever it is, I would say it's kind of eerie when you're the only one there.
I thought you were gonna tell me that like he went downstairs and then all of a sudden he heard the giggling again upstairs and then he was just going back and forth. But there is like nothing creepier to me than like watching or like listening to kids laugh like when there's no kids around.
Yeah.
Like that is so freaky. I would lose my shit.
So this is I now have a more interesting one. It's a hide and seek report. So this one comes from the Lighthouse's website
What does
from
that mean?
something. So a group of young women brought an EMF reader to the lighthouse. In case anyone doesn't know, an is a reader that EMF stands for electromagnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
EMF readers measures that, so it sees if there's fluctuations or if it's stronger in one place than somewhere else.
Okay.
You can see these used in some ghost hunting shows, Phasmophobia, and at our home because I got one for Sage for Christmas last year.
No,
And
we have used
yeah,
it too.
yeah, and we've used it on an investigation we did. So going back to the story, they asked the girls if they wanted to play hide and seek, and the EMF reader went off. Once it stopped, they walked around the room to look where it would go off again to find the girls. And when they did, they found them and then it stopped. And then they asked if they would do it again, and it went off again. And then they played hide and seek a second time.
Okay.
That's more lighthearted. What'd you think of that one?
It's yeah, it's lighthearted, but it's so freaky
Yeah.
that you're getting like that kind of response and contact.
Yeah, that is a fairly decent response. So, some people claim to see apparitions of the girls. One sighting is from a woman who was on the trails near the lighthouse and came across a girl in Victorian era clothing sitting down and reading a book. She asked the girl some questions, and when she looked away for a moment at another group, the girl disappeared. And when the woman looked back.
Mm.
So another report seeing a girl in a tour group, and at the end, that when they went to compliment the parent on the child, it was found that there were no children in the tour group, and that person didn't have a kid,
Oh my god, that
despite
would
this
freak me out.
kid staying by that woman.
I have definitely heard that before. That's right, because Morbid did an episode, I think.
Oh, okay.
Now it's like jogging my memory where I'm like, I remember distinctly hearing a story of a time where like someone said like, oh, there's like nice kid, and the person's like, I literally don't have a kid.
Yeah, and there were no kids at all in the tour group, so it wasn't even just that they didn't have a kid. Nobody in the tour group had a kid.
Is that like considered offensive?
What?
Like, would it be offensive to walk up to somebody and be like, "Oh, you have a nice kid,"
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
and then
do
they
that.
respond with, "I don't have a kid"?
I think that's weird. I don't go up to people and say that stuff.
Yeah.
So, let me see where it was. Sometimes they are seen looking out of the lighthouse from the doors and windows. So the kids. It's even reported that they leave footprints overnight and can be found in the morning. Also, where they died on the shore, sometimes orbs can be seen there.
Okay.
Means we might have a mimic or banshee or something according to Phasmophobia. Could be an on no obake. Could be an obake.
Sure. You know me, I go into the different places. I get my camera and a flashlight. I hunt all around for the bone. As soon as I find it, I take a picture, I pick it up, and then I hightail it out of
And
there.
then I end up dying.
Yeah. Like the one time that I'm like exploring this one part of the prison map all by myself, not noticing a single thing is happening around me. Frank finds me and he goes, "Oh my god, run!" Like
It's hunting
it's
run.
hunting, run, and then I'm like running, and he's like, "Turn your flashlight off." I'm running, and I'm running in the dark. I have no idea where I'm going, and he ended up
And
dying.
if anybody knows how the game works, it was a Raiju, so it goes faster with electronics. And Sage has her flashlight on. I'm like, no, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Well, I didn't know.
It killed me.
Yeah, mubby.
So let's go back to this. So that's what I have on the girls. Um, let me see. Oh, actually, next thing is next thing is during the renovations done by those women in the young women in the late 1900s. Um, while they were working on the keeper's house that burned down, the basement was untouched by the flames. And there were alleged many strange happenings when they were there, and most of them were were attributed potentially with the girls.
Hmm.
But the happenings happened both in like the destroyed parts and the basement, but almost all of them were in the basement. Just some were not.
Mhm.
So occasionally, the smell of cigars comes around in the areas around the lighthouse with no apparent source, and this being a no smoking area, said to be old keeper that used to like smoking cigars.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I think, I feel like that is really common to like the smells,
Yeah,
like the
and,
residual smell of
and this
something.
keeper that they say is like he's like 1850s keeper,
Mm.
so very old. So
Does
no
it
way
still
this.
smell like kerosene and stuff too? Did you read any of that?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So then the next spirit is the man in blue, or sometimes just called the man. Um,
The man.
some people say he's malicious. Other people say he's not. He is dressed in a blue jacket and a mariner cap. He is not like the girls, as they seem playful. He sometimes seems scary and malicious. So he can be seen going up and down the stairs, and occasionally in some of the corridors, he'll appear as a full body apparition for brief moments.
Okay.
Um, he's reported as chasing people around and apparently scared off one of the lighthouse keepers. I think it was in the 1950s. He chased the lighthouse keeper up and down the stairs, and the guy left. He gave up.
Ooh.
That's what one place said. He is believed to be one of two people: Joseph Andrew, a former lighthouse keeper from the one before the current one, who fell to his death while painting the lighthouse. It could also be the former keeper William Russell. So Joseph Andrew was in the 60s, and William Russell was in the 1950s. Sorry, no, sorry, 1850s. So 1860s and 1850s. William Russell didn't really say much about him, but except for the fact that his like body shape was similar to the ghost.
Mhm.
Some one place say he hanged himself, but no other place said that.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that's true or not. The place that said it made it sound like an urban legend, so I'm not going to say that's true or anything.
Okay.
So he's seen around walking sometimes around the railings, going up and down the stairs, or in some of the quarters throughout the place. He so I think it might be, I would say, more the Joseph Andrew, because the next ghost is a shadowy woman who can be seen looking out from the top railing of the lighthouse. It is alleged that this is Maria Mestre de los Adores. Fun fact about her that she is not she is the first woman to serve in the Coast Guard, like to command a sorry, let me see this fact again. So she is the first woman to serve in the Coast Guard, but also the first American Hispanic woman to command a federal shore installation, being the St. Augustine Lighthouse. So she was appointed to this position after her husband, Joseph Andrew, died from his fall.
Oh.
So in the 1860s, we had a girl boss running the lighthouse.
Well, girl boss didn't have a choice.
Yeah, but it's believed that she stares out from the railings and looks where her husband landed and died.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I would do that. If you like fell and died
Uh,
somewhere,
you're,
my ghostly apparition would stand there.
well, hopefully that does not happen.
I too hope that doesn't happen.
So those are the last ghosts that can be kind of connected to people. There's reports of banshee-like screams that can be heard coming from the lighthouse. No one knows what that's from. It could be that woman wailing, or it could be just something else. Some people say it might just be seagulls and people overreacting.
Do they like? Does the wail of a banshee sound like the screech of a seagull?
I don't even know what the wail of a banshee sounds like.
Neither do I.
I don't have a baseline to go off. I know what a seagull sounds like.
Yeah, can you say it?
Ah!
I guess that kind of sounds like a scream.
God, this is going to be so weird in the episode. I wasn't going to do it very loud because I want to destroy people's ears.
True.
So, let me see. Where was I? Similar to the girls in the windows, sometimes it's corpse-like faces seen in the windows. So it's not described as the girls, but more corpse-like. Don't know what that fully means. The current lighthouse keeper still reports hearing ghostly boots walking around the lighthouse, and there being no source. Staff will claim that locked doors overnight will be unlocked or opened when they're not there, along with chairs moved and overturned, and merchandise and items that are that end up being moved or go missing and show up later.
Hmm.
Kind of similar to the Edgar Allan Poe Museum that you talked about a while back. One of the creepier things is apparently some music boxes will play on their own, which would be too much for me.
Ooh, yeah.
No.
I can like picture it. Like I've always said this. One of the things that freaks me out the most about like horror movies is the music. So like I distinctly remember The Descent. Again, is this the second time I've talked about The Descent on here?
Probably.
I don't know. Anyway, terrifying movie. But I remember I had to put AirPods in, like noise canceling, with loud music because the music that was in the movie was so creepy that like it was like I was having like visceral reactions to it.
That was a good movie.
No, maybe for you.
So, um, there's also the claims of cold spots throughout the place, which is kind of usual with haunted places. And I also did find some stuff on Reddit, like I said earlier. I found a particularly intriguing sighting. A person on Reddit talked about their experience where they were on the second to last landing on a tour, and the tour guide had the light out, but told them to turn it on because they thought they saw something. They found a handprint on the wall that was larger than anyone else who was like in the area. So like anybody who's by that wall, their hand was smaller than the handprint.
Ooh.
So that sums up about all the things I could find out about this place. On the skeptic side, there is a skeptic, Joe Nickel, a skeptic and investigator, investigated the location and found no evidence that linked it all to mundane events such as seagulls and creaking noises from settling and whatnot, and that people were blaming it on ghosts instead. I don't have the details on what his investigation all entailed because that's from a book and it was cited on Wikipedia and I ain't reading that thing. So, in conclusion, the St. Augustine Lighthouse is an old and trusted part of the town of St. Augustine. It has a long history with some tragedy entwined with it, from lighthouse keepers who died and children who had a tragic end. Do their souls still reside on the grounds of this historic lighthouse? Do the children still play their games, or do the keepers still maintain and try and overlook the lighthouse? What are your thoughts, Sage?
mm, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's definitely plausible. I feel like lighthouses are one of those things where it's just so old and there's so much like energy around lighthouses. Like they're so important to sea travel. And so like lives are dependent on these lighthouses. So I just feel like the energy like that's encapsulated on like a lighthouse island is just so intense that like it makes sense to me that like energy from people would be trapped there. The story of the kids like when the little riot, like with where the box wasn't at the end, like to stop them. That's really sad.
Yeah, that was really sad.
That makes me really sad, and like that they could not find, like they don't know where she was buried.
Yep.
Is also really sad. I think that being lost in history. I mean, like as sad as it is that they can't find her, I think it's at least nice that there is some mention of her in history in the act that, like
I just realized I didn't put down my notes, but there's a medium who thinks they determined the identity of the kid, of the African American girl, at least her first name. I think it's like Ellen or Aline. But that's
Okay.
about it. The museum has tried to find out where she's buried and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's
so
cool.
then all right. Is that your final thoughts?
Yeah.
All right, so I think there's a decent chance of a haunting here, especially with that tragic history. I haven't seen any of the hard proof myself, but I'd love to check this out. And this town is similar to colonial Williamsburg with a lot of haunted stuff in it,
Hmm.
so I think there's a good chance. So regarding the lighthouse, let's now get into the pop culture stuff of it.
Okay.
So Ghost Hunters did an investigation here. It was
Hmm.
featured on the show My Ghost Story and also on Most Terrifying Places in America on the episode Restless Dead, which premiered on the Travel Channel.
So this is the thing that I find really interesting because this is not the first time that I've heard places that feel like they have very little like paranormal
Hmm.
action happening say that's like one of the most haunted places.
Well, this is also Travel Channel, who's probably just trying to like put every single place to keep farming these shows because these shows make them a good amount of money.
That's true.
Because you have to keep finding places after you do all the big stuff.
Yeah.
So back on this, that's let's see. The lighthouse to this day does Dark of the Moon ghost tours with other local tours that also go in the area that don't go inside. Similar to Colonial Williamsburg, like when we went there was one tour that did go inside the buildings, and all the others did not.
Yeah.
And that's about it for all that I have here. I'm trying to think of what my rating out of 10 thing.
Did either of the um Ghost Hunters or the Travel Channel show like capture anything?
I didn't really look at those, but
Okay.
yeah,
We'll have to watch the episodes, I guess.
we'll have to. So, I'm trying. I don't really have anything goofy to say in this one, but how?
Gallons of kerosene.
Yeah, how many?
How many lighthouse flashes? Light flashes.
What?
Light movements? Because they wouldn't
I
they
just gonna
move the
say.
light?
I was just gonna say, how many spooky lighthouses out of 10 do you rate this lighthouse and believability?
Oh, believability?
That's haunted.
That is haunted?
Yeah.
Probably like a 7 or 8.
Okay.
Like I very strongly think
Seven
that the
or
energy.
so. Let's just say 7.5.
Okay.
Spooky lighthouse out of 10. Now that half lighthouse, is that the top half or bottom half?
Bottom, because the bottom's bigger.
Okay, so no light though. Your half does not have a light to it. Okay, I'm going to rate it probably 7 spooky lighthouses out of 10.
Okay, so we're pretty even.
Yeah, yeah. And that's about it that I have for today.
Awesome, that's pretty neat. I think
So
that there was more on that than you thought there was going to be.
yeah, I found a lot more late at night because I finally found some more fringe websites. One of them I only found this morning, which like the music box and some other stuff.
Frank does his best research overnight when I'm sleeping.
I put on Resident Alien or some other show and just pound out the episode. I was at like a page, 2 pages last night, and then I just got 3 more done while watching the show. She saw me do it today. I put the show on and I just kind of wrote away.
Yeah, I was watching hockey.
So I think that's going to be it. So I'm going to give the final spiel.
All right.
So, go if you're enjoying the podcast, share it with others, like, subscribe, rate, review on whatever you're listening to. That's greatly appreciated. Go to our socials, our Instagram, give us a likes and follows. If you want to comment on our stuff, we try and respond to comments. We appreciate everything we hear from you guys. I think we're going to be deleting our X because we're getting no traction. I see people are kind of leaving the site, and we might be making a Blue Sky.
Yeah, Frank's in charge of all of that, so
I have to figure out. I can't
listen
even.
to him.
I'm not editing it out this time, but I can't even get into the X account most of the time. The site just does not work.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just gonna get rid of the account at this point. It serves zero purpose. So then, yeah, go check us out on those. And if we make a blue sky, I'll let you know. And that should be about it for our stuff.
Alrighty.
I think we'll be signing us off here. Sage, you ready?
Yep.
Remember,
To look for
the unknown
the unsolved.
and the unseen.
Happy hunting.
See you guys.